Hi guys, Brenda from Entrepreneurship School. Today we're with Liam Stander from Company Partners in Cape Town, and in this video we're going to quickly touch on marketing and sales. So Liam, from your side, how important is marketing and sales when it comes to starting a business?
Yeah, it's essential for 99% of all businesses, especially a startup. You may be lucky enough to hit a tender or contract and you never have to worry about even business cards or website. But in most cases, you need to create awareness. To create awareness, the only question really is, where is my customer hanging? For us, our customer is hanging at places where he's in the mood to start a company now. And for example, when he goes to the bank and he says, I want to open a bank account, they would say, okay, cool, where's your company documents? If he's at an event and they say, okay, let's get some businesses going here, he's going to say, what's the next step? The next step would be a company. So we need to get in front of our clients when their mindset is in the place of asking the question already, so that we never have to cold call. And I think that's the place that every business needs to figure out, where is that spot.
And that obviously takes a lot of market research, understanding your client, understanding your product.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is, there's a comparison that you get from wartime if it comes to marketing and sales, specifically advertising, where they would say, on the beach of Normandy and all your typical Second World War events where there would be ships coming to a shore, and on the shore the enemy would be waiting. The enemy would not say, okay, there's a ship, let's just go and shoot our biggest bombs, because number one, they'll scare the people away. Number two, they have only X amount of bombs. A bomb is expensive. So they would start with a gun. They would just literally load the gun, put it in an angle, and see, let's shoot, let's see where it falls. Let's shoot, let's see where it falls, until that gun is at the perfect right angle to hit the boat. As soon as they've hit the little hole into the boat, they know, okay, this is the angle, this is what we're going, load the big guns, and then they go crazy because they know they're accurate. And the same principle you need to apply marketing. There's certain industries which are just simple, like a billboard works perfectly for any car related sales. People are in their car, they're on the road, they see a billboard, makes sense. So there's some things that's very simple, but some things that are much more complicated to figure out. And the best way is to literally just pull a list from Google to say, hey, what's marketing opportunities and advertising mediums in South Africa? Start at the top, throw out the ones that's illogical, and just start testing it with little gunshots. Just throw 100 Rand at this one, 200 Rand at that one, and just see where there's a fish that bites. And as soon as you figure that out, forget about the others. Just zone in and say, cool, go big on this one thing and become awesome at it. And that's something we had to learn early on. We've spent a lot of unnecessary money on stuff that didn't work. For us, for example, a banner ad on the internet, just people aren't excited to do paperwork. So they aren't excited to register a company. They just do it because they want to start trading. So that didn't work for us at all. It was a complete waste. Paper advertising, it's a waste. People don't care for this. So we had to learn what doesn't work and then just forget about it, even though it's tempting. Cut it, focus on the stuff that works.
Great practical advice. If you're watching this video, go back to basics, go figure out what gets me my best result when it comes to marketing and focus in on that. I like that. Brilliant. Next question is, when it comes to sales, there's quite a negative perception that people have nowadays about they don't want to be known as a second-hand car salesman. And I deal a lot with entrepreneurs who say they just don't want to sell. They're not good at selling. For you, in a nutshell, what is sales?
I would say, in the way we experience it, sales are two-handed. Sales, when we start with this free advice, where we speak to a client and they come to us and they say, help. We say, listen, no strings attached, let's help. Talk to me, explain to me what you need, and from your needs, I will tell you what's the next steps. And at the end, I'll tell you, hey man, I can sort this out for you at price X. And again, a lot of people don't continue, but enough do. so that free advice is just part of the business model, and it's fine, and we get the word out there, so that's cool. So in that principle, we don't sell, we advise. We purely advise, we throw in the quote idea, and they can take it or leave it. Where we sell more, which becomes more hardcore, or when we have to explain to clients after they've had their basics done, on the month-to-month stuff they need. For example, accounting. If you're a new business, nobody wants to deal with accounting. You hate the principle of accounting. It's pure money you just spend, and you just get numbers, and you kind of knew these numbers already, so why do I want to spend money on this? And that's where sales get a bit more hardcore, when you need to kind of convince a client that they do need something. But there is, again, tactical ways to do it without being a sloppy, second-hand car salesman. Not that they're bad people, but there is stigmas in the market about certain industries. For example, telemarketing. That's something in our industry we need to avoid, because people have the perception if you call them and they haven't reached out to you, you're probably a telemarketer. You're probably spam. So we need to get away from that stigma. We need to take a very specific approach. So we never call people that haven't worked with us in the last month to upsell them on something. We would just call people that recently worked with us, and then we would start the conversation purely by saying, okay, let's talk the future of your business now. At the end of the day, they need to sell to us. They need to tell us, hey, I realize I actually need this stuff that you just spoke about. And then you just close it. Then you just say, cool, as you said, you need it. So you can either figure it out or we can assist. And if you see it like that, you're somebody that advises, you're a consultant, and you're not a salesman, you're not a telemarketer pushing something out.
Great stuff. Guys, you got to ask yourself the question when it comes to sales, what am I selling? And does the client actually need what you are selling? It doesn't always have to be a fancy idea. Sometimes you just got to zone in on people's needs, and then they pay according to the need. Good.
Amen.
All right, so we'll be back in the very next session. We were going to quickly touch on the operations and systems of company partners.